It's kind of sad that they're doing that to the property. I mean, the property didn't do nothing to them. Property didn't hurt them. Let's see how they put it all over this thing too, because I sat on here the other night. Look at what they did to this. See, they put it all over there. And that's where they empty the food buckets. It might be, you never know. See, it's like all...
Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. We were checking in there with Lori Arnold live. We've got Lori Arnold live up, and we've got Defender of Ants up live. They are waiting for some 1776 celebrants to come back celebrating a birthday. And we're going to talk about all that coming up as we get through the evening. So hello, everybody. Thanks for watching. Again, just starting out with a little something there live from Lori Arnold, and a lot to get to tonight. Some stuff that you're not going to hear about on other channels, on other platforms. Mali charges 49 Ivory Coast soldiers that have been detained since July. And for those that have watched the show for a long time, you know our friend Chris. And, Chris was talking about Africa and about how Europe and Russia are taking advantage, or attempting to. Mali accuses France of sending weapons to armed groups trying to undermine their government. I just wanted to touch on these two at the start because we will have Chris on here before too much longer. We'll have him back on here and talk about what's going on around the world. We haven't done that for a fair amount of time now. And also, I'm going to get Apollo back on. Apollo and I had a great interview for those that were able to see it. Unfortunately, there was a technical difficulty and it had to be taken down, and nothing bad or anything, but we're going to have to redo that. And I look forward to that as well. And you never know. This is kind of like, it's kind of like a late night talk show. Throughout, I mentioned some things to think about, if you will, that are going on that you may not be aware of, and kind of point you where you can go if you want to see in more detail what's happening before we talk about it. If it's an upcoming thing like Mali in South Africa, South Central Coastal. Anyway, you never know who's going to pop on here, because I've made it known to some people that it's kind of like a talk show. And if you remember the older talk shows, I don't know if they still do this anymore or not, but when a big star shows up, they just walk out. And so if some relatively significant personality happens to show up in the chat that I've invited to come, we'll drop a link real quick and get them in. Speaking of which, I'm going to just, before I get going here, because I'm just about to do this thing where I oftentimes get on a roll talking and forget to get over and say hello to everybody. Hello, Thunder. Okay, I've got a new microphone system. I don't have for some reason they didn't send me a couple of things, a power cord and a earbuds. So I'm operating without hearing what's going on. I hope the sound is not horrible. If the sound is horrible, let me know, because I don't want to put anything out that's horrible, and I'll just have to take it down. And I don't want to waste a bunch of time. So let me know if the sound's horrible. Maybe the echo was possibly just on the videos. If somebody in the chat could let me know, I'd greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and act like everything's okay at the moment. And I'll try not to play too much in the video. It's just on the video. Okay, thank you, Thunder. I'll try not to do too much video. And it might be such that the way I've got it configured now that I have to turn the volume off on my laptop and just have it run through the laptop. We'll find out. We'll experiment a little bit. Thank you all for watching. It is Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. And we got some things to get to. Before we do, I want to remind people that we did a thing, the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, with fun breaks, so it's not as long and boring. And we did the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and even threw in the 11th Amendment to the Constitution for good measure. And we filled it with fun breaks, like flying around a 360 fly camera version of one of my favorite roller coasters in the world, the Beast at Kings Island. So now this isn't going to help the 1776 people who are supposed to have been taking classes, because this is the actual real Constitution, and I have a feeling what they may have been getting taught isn't exactly kosher. That's a great word. If you do video, mute your mic. Okay. I can't do that because I don't have a power button to the box. I've got the mic basically hardwired straight into the computer, so I'd have to unplug it. But we'll see what we can do here. I want to point out a couple of stories real quick, and we'll get into what the mainstream's saying the breaking news is. Sadly, this happened last night. A 20-year-old black man named Donovan Lewis was shot and killed by Columbus police while in his bed. He was unarmed. Body cam footage has been released, and we will probably, we should be hearing more about this anyway. We'll be hearing more about it on here. We're gonna follow up on that. But again, this is just relatively recent. Happened last night. 20-year-old black man shot and killed by Columbus police. He was unarmed. He had a vape pen by his bedside. Also yesterday, in case you missed it, Alaska elected a Democrat, and they actually elected a First Nations Native American. The first time, and it's definitely the first female Native American to ever represent Alaska. And okay, those that don't know, this is from the other night. Seal on the beach. Oh, that's not cute enough. Let's go over, and the seal's going to pet the dog. And, feel good thing. Not a lot of what's going to be coming up here is necessarily feel good. Working on getting things positioned and worked around in here as far as sound and camera. Those that watch the show know everything went crap all at once, and we're gradually getting things put back together where we got a little bit better quality. So here's what's happening around the around the mainstream media. We start with The Guardian. Judge delays ruling on Trump's request for a special master to review evidence. An ex-NYPD cop who assaulted a D.C. officer on January 6th gets a record-setting 10 years. Fire rages, power grid tested, intense heat wave hits Southern California. Biden's direct primetime address on democracy. I guess that might have been tonight. If it was, I missed it. Putin denies Gorbachev a state funeral and will stay away. Fox and Friends Steve Ducey calls out what? Fox and Friends Steve Ducey calls out Donald Trump over secret files. Things that make you go, Things that make you. So that's what's happening around the mainstream. And let's take a check on what's been going on in the 1776 Restoration Movement. And I may be cutting this really short. For some reason, the past two times, last Tuesday night, right before I came on live, I had this massive migraine headache start, and I had little floaters and stuff. So the last episode was, I don't know, I haven't watched it, and I may be cutting this one short too, because I've got a massive migraine headache for some reason. It may be the lights. Looking straight up at that, I don't know. Anyway, a lot happened today, but I want to show you something that it just kind of tells what this is all about. Calling all donations. Donation, gifts and go, Cashapp, Zella, money, gas, events. And I think this guy, and his channel is Wyckoff's America, Wyckoff's _America. This guy's this is desperation. Okay. This is a sign that my gosh, what am I going to do? And this person was, this person lives in Florida. I'm not, breaking any news. And had a fairly successful, the way I understand it, pool cleaning business, which, in Florida, high demand. And he started following the convoys and got involved with 1776, and he became a live streamer. I've seen a few people that have become live streamers that went on to actually be live streamers. It's not something that normally pays very well at all, unless you calling on donations, unless you do things like this. And things like this, and hey, that's what the internet's about, doing things like that, I guess. But you can't just you can say you're a citizen journalist, but very few people are actually naturals at it, and we're going to talk about one of them coming up here in Defender Vance. But this guy he's basically, the way we understand it, given up his pool business. He's trying really hard to sell shirts. He's tried to be a Ghostbuster. He's tried to go do the park thing, and the more desperate he becomes, the less options he's going to have for money. And it's just I'm pointing it out just as a cautionary tale. Don't think that when you've got 3 weeks of incredible exposure, that automatically means that that's going to last. Okay, he was making a whole bunch of money for a short amount of time, relatively short amount of time, and it was like, this is fun. I'm enjoying what we're doing. Nothing wrong with it, and if he can make it, I hope he does. But fair warning: don't. You can only keep the grift going so long before people realize they're being grifted. Now, it's up for debate on how good somebody can keep and how long somebody has kept a whole bunch of people. But that's a different episode. So he's selling shirts, though. If you okay, if you want to help him out. And the 1776 stuff for real now starts. It is September the 1st, 11:19 p.m. Hello to everybody watching. Thank you all for watching. Salute. It is the day that the 1776 group was supposed to leave their Bunker Hill location. It's the day that it was eviction day. It was the day that they're supposed to be out of there. And I don't have, I have not personally verified this, but the way I understand it is, what happened was, eviction papers were served, and the police came, the county sheriffs came, and the county sheriffs basically talked with the owner of the property. And according to reports, the owner of the property wants them out of there effective today. So we've got a squatting situation. Now, this isn't the first squatting situation that 1776 had. Before they had porta potties, when they were occupying the mall there for, 16 days, I think. They were, it was the 5-gallon buckets. But this is a totally different kind of squatting. This is occupying an area that you are no longer allowed to occupy. And there are squatter rights. There are squatter rules. Normally, you have to be in a location for a long period of time before any of that actually comes into play. But nonetheless, according to various sources, including just a lazy gamer who has it ended with a question mark, because and justifiably so, because we don't know 100% what is going on. But this is the owner, and talking to 2 of the sheriffs, and this comes from the Defender Vance video. So that was one of the things. Now, while this was happening, there was a hawk that came and struck a perch upon a light pole and viewed the entire thing. So people in the chat of the ant were making various they were tying the two together. I told you I got a headache. I apologize. But thank you for hanging with me, and we're going to go through this. And as I said, we've got a couple of lives up just in case something does go down, that there's a need for more eyes on something. We'll be able to pop over to that. I'm going to see how this works. I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm going to turn the volume off and
what's going on. Well, we do have a clip, which will be in a pinned comment. This clip has a woman say, and I want to make sure I quote this: "I can't believe that guy. I mean, I was a landlord. I couldn't get my tenants out even with a paper. And they're going to come here and do that bullshit without any eviction paper." That is what is said by the two.
Okay, so let me hop over in the chat real quick. Poop Bucket Cult. Hey, Summer, how are you? True Celtic Mutt, welcome back. Real Talk, what's up? What's up with these convites feeling they have a right to others' property? This could get interesting if they do indeed decide that they are going to remain on the property against the will of the property owner. I've mentioned a few times, a few episodes, that the fact that they're squatting, it puts the escalation level a notch higher. And if they start locking the compound up themselves without permission of the owner, you're only a notch or two below Waco and Ruby Ridge and armed conflicts between a cult and the government, whether it be Leo or whether it be state or whether it be the feds. So we're going to have some fun, of course, joke possibly here or there about, but the fact that they have decided not to leave when they were supposed to leave should send a signal to a lot of their supporters that, you know what, maybe we haven't been supporting, maybe what we have been supporting isn't what really is. And I'm just asking, I'm not making that as a statement. I'm just, I've got my own opinion on it. All right. But the more of their followers, the more of their supporters that see things like have happened today, because it is not even close to the biggest things. The biggest things are still to come as to what has happened today in the 1776 thing. So they are not leaving. Before I started this live, the last report was they were still out singing karaoke and partaking in adult beverages. And when they get back, they're going to be met by Defender of Ants and Lori Arnold in Knights Templar outfits. So we're going to pop in and out to see what's going on. But this is real serious. and I'm just going to throw this in here right now because Summer's in here, and I hope Summer's still in here. Somebody messaged me about the episode I did, either the last live or in one of the record. At some point, I mentioned the names, that it was Santa, that it was Oreo, that it was Teddy Bear, that it was Elf, and I got a very serious email. And before we get into what may be coming up in the antics of Ant and Lori, this is serious. And I had not thought of this. Human trafficking, child sexual predators. In all honesty, it's something I never thought up until a couple of years ago. I never even thought would impact me in any way, shape, or form. I didn't think it was something that happened here, when in fact it is happening all over here. And somebody sent me a very, very, very serious email and said, "You're missing it. They are cotton candy names. They are names that will make kids want to come to them." Now, I'm not accusing any of those people specifically of doing anything. I'm just saying there's a correlation between using soft cotton candy names when you're trying to attract kids, and the people that go after these people on a serious basis, that's who contacted me. And it's very much for real. And it's very much something that I had not personally thought about. So I want to get that out on my platform, on the recorded for posterity, as something to think about. And they are an accused organization that is, they've been accused, and not formal accusations. Well, I shouldn't say that. But if the things that are happening, if the things that people are accusing of going on, if it is going on, it has to stop. And the more this goes on, the harder it is to not be 100% certain that they're, it sure feels like something wrong is and has been happening. And more things came out today, including information about members of that of the 1776 movement that are going to cause even their most ardent supporters to question, wait a minute, what are we really supporting? So a lot happened today, and it all happened on the Defender of Ants channel. And he calls himself the content king. And I have said, at least in this 1776 situation, he is the content king. Well, today, he had probably, I don't know, he's still going. So he's going to have 6 or 7 hours of content. And out of that, a minimum of 4 hours is going to be incredible for one reason or another. Billy came back with a gun today. He let everybody know there were 3 guns. He has 3 guns. As I said, a lot happened. The guy that sells RVs, apparently, when the company that he works for, when they got to work this morning, their Twitter page had some stuff on it that didn't paint him in the most favorable light. I hope that's not somebody outside the house of Doofus. Doofus dog is alerted anyway. So I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Got a headache. The things that are coming out about members of the 1776 movement, the language that is being recorded by them, the actions that they are showing, makes it very hard, if not impossible, to have any association with a Christian movement. And there are those of us that may not have a church relationship. We may not have a religious relationship, but we have a biblical and a personal connection. And it is appalling the way some people treat the label Christianity. And I've talked about this before. They use it as a label, to like a commercial brand. They just put it on and to either cover themselves or absolve themselves, or to make themselves acceptable. When in fact, you don't have to peel the layers back too deep to find out that there's absolutely next to nothing Christian about them. And I'm talking about a lot of people, all right? Not just only some of the people that represent that movement, all right? But some of the people that represent that movement, their followers, their supporters. I hope some of you are watching. I hope somebody's sending you a link to this, or have cut this out so that you hear. You need to listen what I'm about to play, because all of the main dialogue has gone back and forth between the two sides. You watch the I can't think of his name. Oreo. You watch the Oreo stream, or whatever stream. I guess there's a lady from Ohio there now that is supposed to be like some mega superstar celebrity. I don't know who it is, but that doesn't, I'm nobody, so it doesn't mean anything that I don't know who it is. Anyway, you watch and you get their side of things, which is very repetitive and very, very redundant and very manipulated. And you get the voices, the voices of the squirrels, Lori Arnold, Anarchy Princess, and then the king of content, Defender Vance. And those are pretty much the voices you get, with occasional appearances from, the neighbor, and the kid that came out that was like ripped and had on just a pair of shorts, and he's the neighbor's son. But most of the time, all you hear from are the squirrels, Ant, and Lori Arnold, and that Anarchy Princess, and the squirrels left today, which we'll get to. They everybody knew that was coming. They had already stayed longer than they were planning on being there. They, like myself, like a lot of people, we thought it was over when they left the mall. I mean, there were celebrations that they had left the mall and it was over, and it's not, and it's ongoing. But sorry, I got off track, because this should have been over. If law enforcement, well, I shouldn't say that, because Washington, D.C. is a unique situation. And in retrospect, with few exceptions, the D.C. cops, the park police, they probably handled things just about as good as it could have went down. There were a couple of exceptions, but over that course of the time, probably shouldn't be too hard on them. But those are the voices that you normally hear. We're gonna hear a voice that that you don't normally hear, and I want to make sure I've got the right one, because I've got, okay, all right, this is the right one. Yeah, this is the right one to share. This is from the Defender Vance video. I'm not going to play anywhere near the whole thing. Like I said, it's like 6 hours long. But go back and go. Okay, shoot. Nope. All right. Well, this is live. There you see him. Let's just hop in here with the audio for a minute. I forgot to ask earlier if it worked that way or not. All right. While I'm here, let me get the other video up and see if that's the correct video. Okay, here we go. All right, this is one. Now I'm going to hop over here to the chat real quick. Officially trespassing. What's up with these bad boy Aries officially trespassing? If they're staying on the property, the thing is, and that's a good point. The thing is, we believe that their business agreement with the owner of the property, they have rented the property as a business and not as a group of individuals. So there's some question about how that may play out. Kids love fire trucks. True Celtic mutt. That's true. Kids love fire trucks. There has to be a reason why they are so triggered by just the presence of counter protesters. Yeah. Ant has been the content king. Mad Magazine. Yeah. The Spy versus Spy at the end of Mad Magazine. MAGA versus MAGA. I'll check it out. I'll check it out, Celtic Mutt. Check your video out after we get done here. So, as I was saying, this is, let me get back over here so I can make sure we got this all the way down. I hope this works with it all the way down and it doesn't echo. Actually, let me go back to chat. When I did it before, did it echo? I know the very first video I played it echoed, but did I play another video? I don't think I have. Maybe I haven't. All right, let's just give this a shot. Yeah, I did. I played. Did you hear the volume, or did you hear the audio for the Just a Lazy Gamer? I played just a few clicks. And is averaging 600 views an hour. He should. It's a content-rich site at the moment, and yeah, most people that watch this watch the recorded version. To be honest, the volume was okay. Thanks, Real Talk. Hey, watching people fail or win. Real Talk, Celtic Mutt. Thank you all for being here. Real Talk. I've mentioned to you before about hopping on here and talking with me some. I got a headache at the moment. I'm looking down like I'm looking at like I'm talking to you in the chat instead of looking up. I want you to hop on here sometime. And the same thing with True Celtic Mud. I know you got a channel. Hop on here sometime. And watching people fail or win. Well, anybody that's on here. Summer, I'm going to have you back on when things settle down a little bit. Anybody that wants to come on that's a regular in chat and come on and talk, you know, we'll do that. I got a headache at the moment, but this stuff there's just too much stuff. Okay, what did I do? Crap. Let me see. All right, I'm back to the right one. Okay, we get the one. If I've set it up right, and I can't monitor it, so I hope I have. It's not going to be identified who this person is. You can hear it for yourselves on the Defender Advanced channel, but I didn't want to in any way reveal who this guy was. He kind of has himself, but still. But what you're going to hear is a voice that you don't normally hear in these conversations. You normally hear the voices of live streamers on the 1776 side and those that are in opposition. This is somebody that has a connection, but at the same time has a knowledge of the people involved and brings a perspective that we, as those that have been following this story, this is going to bring a perspective that you haven't had before. Let me see.
What's the question?
Well, no, my question is why did you guys knowingly convicted level 3 child sex offenders, even when people like myself and others were reaching out to you and trying to tell you the damage that this would do? Nobody wants to answer that question. It's like the big white elephant in the room, man. Come on now. It's the big white elephant. Nobody wants to answer that question. All y'all want to ignore it. Y'all want to sweep it under the rug. You want to delete people. You want to silence them. You want to put them on a 30-minute break. Whatever, whatever. All of it. But seriously, I mean, why did you all? I'm talking David. David, why did you knowingly allow convicted chomos to live in a parking lot with women and children for weeks? Damn good and well, 1 minute was too fucking long.
Okay, I'm kind of cutting it off blindly there. But that was from earlier this evening on Defender Vance. And again, it's probably minutes long. And there's a lot of things that get unveiled, revealed, I should say, and things that are reinforced that we've heard. And again, their supporters, the 1776 supporters, if they hear the things that have come out today, they're going to have to question, because all they know these by is through a computer. Most of them that are sending money have never met any of these people. And if they're being taken advantage of, if it's a front for something that is nefarious, the things have to be taken down, and taken down without delay. So that's why we keep putting so much focus on this, because something's wrong. Sure feels like it anyway. And if it is wrong, let's make sure we stop it. So let's jump back to Lori Arnold. I wish there was some way I could hear this without it echoing too bad. This is live. Actually, hear the fire truck right out in front.
Thank you, Rumrose. That is very true. I was a young lady that was raised with skirts all the time, and extensively we were taught that you keep your legs closed when you're sitting down in a skirt. Yeah, why won't anybody talk about it? Diane, we're gonna pull that. Okay, she says, wasn't there a pedo at the People's Convoy with over 20 kids, and you didn't do anything then, huh, Lori? Okay, I've talked about this extensively, but we'll go back again. Bandit did try to get in the People's Convoy twice. Once in Hagerstown, and once when we were on the trip to California and back. I didn't ever meet Bandit. I didn't even know about what happened until afterward. So I don't know why you keep coming at me and trying to throw that shit. It's another one of your little bullshit lies, trying to pass the buck off. But no, I did not allow it. And let me tell you what, if I'd have been here when they let that motherfucking sex offender stay here with the kids, I'd have drug him out myself.
Lori Arnold,
I
ladies
wouldn't have
and
waited
gentlemen.
for no man to do it. I wouldn't have given a shit what Santa said. I'd have taken him out myself.
And that's why she's there.
Right out of this parking lot and not allowed him to be with the children.
She's there to stop this.
1776 allowed him in. Let him stay there with children, more than one. Yeah, supposedly G shut him down. But now he's okay with this stuff, so I don't understand that. Absolutely, Kim Don. He did. Go look on WYSIWYG's stream because there's a really good interview it was like problems with the 1776 Queen. He's sitting in the car with WYSIWYG, and he just goes on and on about why it's okay to let the convicted sex offender live with children, both of them.
We showed that.
They married one of them in this parking lot. One of the sex offenders, Frank Ledford.
Okay, we're gonna. Drop away from that for just a second because I want to address that. One of the alleged sex offenders was married by the guy that owns the fire truck, who got a marriage license online, supposedly, maybe. But anyway, and there's question about the age of the girl. So there's a whole lot to this that the longer it goes, the darker it appears. Let's hop over and let's see what Defender of Ants. Let's see what's happening live with Vance. And
well, depends if they could get. Depends.
now again, I don't know if we are waiting
That all depends.
for the celebrants to get back. They have been partaking in adult beverages.
It did turn into a meth cult,
and
so that should be an easy narrative.
I imagine is pretty bad karaoke.
Yeah, I don't think he works for WYSIWYG. I think he's a contractor. That's why Sparrow is a wild card. Exhibiting brainwashing. Dude, Sparrow caught a lot of content that none of you have seen. He was riding Big D's fire truck when that shooting took place at the bridge in Portland. He was in that cab filming that. 6 grams. You're here, man. Get it together. Relax.
So at the moment, not much happening. They are they're to be out there, and you can watch either Defender of Ants or Lori Arnold, and keep up to date on what's going on as the evening unfolds, because we're getting close to the midnight hour, and I imagine at some point, if enough adult beverages are consumed, there might be some sort of activity come from the 1776 movement. And if that's the situation, well, Defender of Ants or Lori Arnold will have it, and we'll be on and talk about it again coming up. We'll be live, if not before, we'll be live Sunday night at 11 p.m. and we'll probably do a couple of recorded updates between now and then. We'll check and make sure it was a fairly big solar blast, but thankfully it went the total opposite direction of Earth, because it was significant. We got a coronal eye that is rotating towards the Earth, and we'll keep an eye on that, as well as all kinds of things. The Middle East is heating up, and I mean that war-wise, or the rumors of war, as well as the flooding in Pakistan that was generational, at least. And not just in Pakistan, but flooding going on here in America, and weather anomalies, and a lot of stuff that we talk about on here on a regular basis. We've been devoting some time to this 1776 thing, because it's feeling more and more like something that we've got to just get laser focused on and stop it. And Lori Arnold has been of that mindset since the start. So thank you all for watching. If you'd like to help them, go to their sites. Lori Arnold. Lori Arnold's Cash App is $Bunny, BUNNY, capital E, capital T, capital R. $BUNNY, capital E, capital T, capital R. So that's her Cash App. And I'm not sure what I think Defender Vance is just $Defender Vance, but I don't know. Go to their sites to make certain. And if you can, and if you believe that something out there is not right, there are eyes on it. They're the way that we find out the information. They give us the video that we can go back and see what's going on in the background. Help them out, because they're not getting any advertising. I don't get any advertising because of the topics we talk about. They sure aren't, because they play music and stuff. So if you feel okay in doing so, send them a few bucks if you can, because it could turn out to be that they are doing righteous work. The squirrels have gone home. Anarchy Princess is under the weather, not feeling the greatest. And so it's just Ant and Lori at the moment. I kind of have a feeling it's not going to stay that way. I kind of have a feeling they may be getting people coming and backing them up from a lot of different sides of the aisle, so to speak. I hope I'm right, because the two of them out there by themselves, while they're incredibly brave, while they're mesmerizing as far as when stuff gets going. Lori, just in the fact of her pure passion, and Ant in the fact that he's just a natural born. He's at the right place at the right time in this YouTube generation. I'll leave it at that. He's one of a kind. And I want to send, I'll be sending a prayer, because that's what I will do. But those that watch this don't know I don't pray publicly. I don't, I don't use this channel as some kind of anything other than giving you things to think about. So Anarchy Princess, and she's not Antifa. She's none of that. She's not a witch. She's none of those things. She just played those things to get into people's heads, and man, was she incredibly successful at it. She's not feeling well. So if you're a praying person, send a prayer. If you are a positive vibes, if you're whatever you are, send a positive thought that young lady's way. Okay, please. I love y'all. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back real soon. Sunday night, 11 p.m. we'll be live, if not before, and might have drop a couple of recorded things in between now and then. But until then, again, thank you so very much for watching. This has been Late Night America on the American Doofus channel.